Hi again, everyone. It's me, Finley from Mind Mechanics. I wanted to give you my email address. It's Finley's with an S, mindmechanics@gmail.com. So if you ever want to reach out, you want any help, shoulder to lean on, some advice, you want to ask me some questions about some of the things you've watched, then feel free to reach out to me. It's Finley's mindmechanics@gmail.com. Now, I really want whoever's watching this to share it with someone, because if you don't take notice of what I'm telling you, you're missing out on one of the most important pieces of information in your life, and you could go decades or your whole life without finding it. Now, I don't want you to think my ego is involved in this. I don't think I'm smarter than you in any way, and that's not how it's intended. And I just want to share with you from a place of trust and honesty, and that's where I'm coming from. This stuff that I'm talking about has been talked about for millennia in different ways. I've got some here that I saved when I was doing research. So you've probably heard me speak about Marcus Aurelius before. He was a Roman emperor. I've got the exact quote now. So he was alive in 121 AD, right? And he said, "Your soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts." So what you think affects who you are, basically. It's just another way of saying what I'm saying to you. And like I said to you in the previous podcast, if you watched it, you've got your old personality, which is likely running a subconscious program, habitual program that you're not even aware of. So you're unaware that this is happening, because the brain, as I told you before, its mass to energy ratio is massive. Only 2% of the body mass, but takes up 25% of the energy. So over millennia and evolution, it's fine-tuned to conserve energy, so it will hide stuff. It won't keep processing, it will run programs underneath that you're not even aware are happening. And this is where most people are. And when you become conscious and you start laying down the personality you want, someone who thinks positively about themselves, always talk yourself up, never ever talk yourself down. And don't think bad thoughts about other people and call them names in your head or go over and over negative things. Once you start changing that, what's going to happen, you're literally making a new personality for yourself. It doesn't mean you're going to completely change, but your view of the world, because how you interact with it, will change completely. You won't even believe it, honestly. I can't explain it to you, but it's bliss. It really is. You start seeing everything, and some people can find it frightening because things can get quite big and your senses are all tuned in. It can be a bit scary, but that's when you're really getting tuned into the world. It's where you should be. Now, I believe that when you talk about resurrection through the ages with Jesus and stuff, and Plato said he resurrected himself twice. I believe it was Plato. Could be mistaking him with another powerful speaker and influencer from the past. But many of them have said about resurrecting himself, and it's about killing the old. It's a mental resurrection. You kill the old self and you're reborn. And one of the things that Jesus Christ said is, you must be born again. And this is what I believe it's talking about. More of the same. It's just interpreting all these different scriptures and sayings over the ages to then realize that you're looking at the same thing over and over again. Buddha also said something similar. He said, what we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday, and our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow. Our life is a creation of our mind. Same again. So this is what I'm trying to get you to realize. It's all the same. It's been known for literally millennia, thousands and thousands of years, and it hasn't been taught to us. It's almost a secret. I call it the secret. I couldn't believe it when I discovered it. And you'll see loads of stuff about ascending chakras and, how spiritual and getting connection to God, and then you move up another step and your spirit this and your I'll be honest with you, I'm not into all that. I do meditate, and I've had some fantastic experiences, and I'll tell you a quick story in a minute. And meditation is really good for you because it's time with yourself, reflecting. I close my eyes. I would recommend putting some music in, no singing, no words, but just some sound, maybe something that's 432 hertz, something that's, look it up, something that's in tune with nature itself. So you want a vibration that's similar to that, some animal noises, a bit of house music if you like it, but something a bit chilled. Classical is great. If you're not doing that, put earplugs in. Block out as many senses as possible. Close your eyes. I pull a hood down over my eyes and I just sit there. Be only with yourself. No distractions. Put the phones down. Put the TV off. Have some time on your own, and go inside. And just monitor. And the thing is, if you're able to see the thoughts coming in, right, then you're not having them. Do you understand what I'm saying? That proves it's a subliminal, habitual program. It's an unconscious program that's running, because I can have a thought, I can think something really nice. There's something just popping up and you can witness it. You didn't create it. That means it's a program. Something running in the background. So you need to start becoming aware of the program. When you become conscious of that unconsciousness, you raise your consciousness. The more you raise your consciousness, the more control you're going to get. Now, the story I wanted to tell you quickly is about a preacher. I won't mention his name here, but he's in Manchester, and we used to work together, and I was trying to find a way. I was in a terrible place, and I had this fantastic experience whilst meditating. I would do yoga first. I'll do yoga first, then I'll meditate after. And I seen this bright light in my head, and I got this amazing feeling throughout my body, this vibration. It lasted for ages, and I was going deeper and deeper. And I actually pulled myself out of it because I got so frightened at the time that I would get drawn away and, I don't know, pass away, never come back. It was a very surreal, psychedelic kind of thing going on. And I said to him, I personally don't believe in a God per se. I've got an open mind, but I don't think there's a God. I don't think I need to answer to anyone but myself. I've got my own moral compass because I'm a conscious, critical thinking being, so I can decide what's good and what's bad. But anyway, I said to him, have you ever had this experience, really bright light, fantastic feeling in your body, vibration going up and down you? And he said, no, I've never had that. I said, because I think praying is much the same as meditating, in a way. And he said, but you don't even believe in God, do you? And I said, well, no, I don't know. I said, I'm open to it, but no, I haven't. I've raised a Catholic and been down that road and found nothing down there for me. So he said, well, be careful, it's not demons. And I said, right. I said, well, you said all human beings have a soul, right? And he said, yeah. And I said, so let's say we all have a soul, as you were saying. So whether I believe I've got a soul and in God doesn't make any difference to whether it's real or not. Would you agree? And he said, yeah. And I said, so why can't I have something that you would say is me making a connection with God, even though I don't believe in it? And I said, why would that not be possible? Because if it's there, it's there. It's either there or it's not there. Do you understand what I'm getting at? And what I'm trying to say to you is, as well, this method, you don't need to believe in it. You just need to do it. You don't need to completely understand everything in the world. And I get it. I like to understand everything. I like to know how it works. And that's why I've set this circle out for you, so you can have a better understanding. But you don't even need to believe in it, because it'll work anyway. If you follow the methods, you don't need to believe in the system, but you need to believe at the points I tell you to believe. I.e., you need to have complete belief in your thoughts that are positive to the point that they're real, yeah? That your mind doesn't know the difference. Don't ever put even a little tiny pinch of doubt in there, because as soon as you do, where there's doubt, there can be no fact. Okay, it has to be proven or not. So you need to believe it wholeheartedly. But you don't need to believe in the system. You will see it works through practice. So this was my conversation with him, and it made me think of this. Well, you don't need to. It doesn't matter if we're human beings, and we're all human beings. If there is a soul, everyone has one. This system works for myself and other human beings all through history. It's going to work for you. You're a human being. So don't even worry about the intricacies. It's going to work for you. So don't miss this opportunity to change your life. Now, I've talked about ego before and said I'm not coming from a place of ego, and that's another thing you'll find in these circles where they say go past the ego and you need to overcome the ego, and I don't think you need to do that. But I do think you need to have control of yourself and your ego and every other kind of emotion. Imagine them as tools in your tool shed. You should be able to pick the ego up and use it when you need it, but don't forget to hang it back, you know. Sometimes you might need to pick up the emotion of anger and use it to protect yourself or something. Hopefully you're never in that situation, but don't forget to put that down again, okay? Now, these are tools that are useful, and there's some tools that you can have on you all the time that you can use constantly, like joy, gratitude, love, compassion, kindness. There's nothing wrong with going around in that state all the time. It's bliss. I don't see anybody on the planet reaching enlightenment in this time. It may have happened in the past and it may happen again. I don't know, but I don't see anybody in these current times reaching a state of enlightenment, because enlightenment for me is you wouldn't even ask for money for anything, you know. You wouldn't get angry if somebody come up and did the worst thing to you. And as a matter of fact, you wouldn't even be around human beings, in my opinion. You wouldn't need to be. You would go off on your own. You would have no family, you'd have no friends, you'd have to be selfish to be completely enlightened and go on that path and that journey. And I think that's why a lot of people who, gurus and sages, they disappear into the mountains, because you need to be away from everything. You have to have no connections. You need to give everything up and just be with yourself and explore that path into what is perhaps the quantum level, because we can focus so deeply on things. We can go to places that other animals can't. Doesn't mean that we're spiritual. I'm not saying it means we're not spiritual, but in my opinion, it doesn't mean like that we're capable of these amazing things. And I don't see why we should be so special to have connection to a God, if there is a God in this whole massive universe. Because what can you do that's so amazing that, say, another entity couldn't do? You know, I think there's entities in the universe that can have way more control over the systems than we do. But you can get a lot of control over it. And you've got all these different emotions. We're very complicated beings, but at the same time, we've got animalistic things we have to do, which are very strange when you're a conscious being, like just going to the toilet and having sex and all these crazy thoughts. And we're basically a big mass of cells. And we're more microbiome, we're more other creatures than we are ourselves, if you know about microbiome. So it's a really strange thing to have this contemplative, critical mind, but be this animal at the same time. And I personally just don't think that you need to overcomplicate it by trying to reach out to God and think about your spirit and your different chakras and overcoming your ego. I think if we keep it simple, this can work from the average man all the way up to anyone you can imagine. So, very simply, change your mind, change your thoughts, you're going to change your life. That's it, simple. Follow the loop that I told you about in the previous video, and you can't go wrong. But I don't think you need to destroy your ego completely. You need to learn to control things. That's what needs to happen. You need to learn to control your anger, if you need anger. And like I say, if you were if you were truly enlightened, it's likely that if you reached that point of enlightenment, you'd probably just leave your body completely if it was possible, and your energy would just go away. And there have been instances where people have been away in the mountains and caves and meditating, and have found their bodies in a meditative state, and they were dead. And they died. Possibly they just left their body. Who knows what the limits of your mind, focusing your mind are? We don't know. But that's what I'm saying. Let's not go too deep into it. Let's just be peaceful. Let's just get some joy in our lives. Let's keep it basic. And you can work with that. Let's do the basics first. Let's get the basics down. Yeah? Let's get the skill down, the technique, and you can work your way up. Who knows where it's going to take you? I don't know. I don't know how far it can go. And I honestly don't know if there's a creator, whether you can leave your body, what you can do. I don't know. All I know is I want to help you feel like how I feel, because I've been down and I came up, and I've been through hell, I believe, you know. And one time I might go into the story of the things I've been through. And again, everybody's personal experiences are really powerful to them. And some people look at my journey and go, oh, how the hell did you survive that? And some people go, I've been through worse. You know, so I think it's pretty bad. I'm a pretty based guy, and it's pretty bad, but I've heard some stories of other people, and you know, they've had horrific things happen, and you've got to get your ass up and dust yourself off and find a way. And I'm offering you a way. I'm offering this way out to everyone that works. And I want to talk to you a little bit as well about, you know, like I say, they get really overcomplicated and wordy about spirits and, you know, meditating for hours and reaching these higher limits and joining your spirit with this chakra and God and stuff. And meditation is a fantastic thing, and you should definitely do it. But you don't need to do it for hours. Do micro meditations in your head 24/7. If you're having a shower, having a poo, do a little bit longer meditation. If you've got a bit of time and you're quiet on your own, close your eyes, do a bit longer thinking positive thoughts. Otherwise, I want you walking around all the time monitoring 24/7 till you get control. There'll come a time you won't need to be 24/7 in here monitoring, trying to ignore the negative thoughts and overlay them with positive thoughts. It will come, but you've got to stick with it. And there will be pain and discomfort involved, but you'll break through that. You'll break through these limits, and you'll go beyond them, and you'll be amazed at how it can change your life. You won't need drink, you won't need drugs, you won't be angry, you won't be, because you'll be in total control. And that's an incredibly powerful thing. It'll give you a whole new life. You'll literally walk around smiling. You'll just smile out of the blue for no reason. And you'll remind yourself to smile. And you'll remind yourself how grateful you are for the path that got you there. Now, they'll talk about manifesting money and wealth and stuff, and they'll try and sell their channels to you or their stuff to you through that way. And I said in the other podcast, I want to explain that to you a little bit now. You've got to have belief in yourself, complete belief that, for example, you want to be an actor like Jim Carrey, and he wrote himself a check for 10 million, and eventually he received a check for 10 million. Did he really manifest a check for 10 million? Was it precisely 10 million? I don't know, but the way it works is, he wanted to be an actor, yeah? Wrote himself a check for 10 million. He didn't just sit in a house and carry on with his job, did he? No, you've got to take action towards your dream. You've got to have the complete belief and desire. And then he was in a car, he was doing bit shots, you know, and extras and getting little parts here and there, and he kept striving towards his dream, believed in himself, got noticed, and became a massive star. And that's what I'm saying. If you wanted to be a powerful speaker and you believed in yourself, you'd be looking out. Or where's the speaking events, fine-tuned into every conversation. Oh, those people just said something about, oh, there's a speaking event going on. You'd be tuned into it, you'd be taking yourself there. And you'd have such belief in yourself that when you went on the stage, people would go, wow, he's a fantastic speaker. Grab him after the show, you know, and pull him down here. And that's how it works. And in a sense, you have manifested it because you believed it, you went for it, and you created it, but you're not literally manifesting stuff out of thin air. Again, we don't know the limits of the potential. There's things written in history about people that have manifested cities, guys that have come together and manifested cities out of the ground, manifested food when they want it. Jesus turned water into wine. Is that possible? I don't really know at this stage. I can say my belief is not, but you've always got to keep an open mind about things, even how crazy some of them seem. So we don't know what the possibilities are. Everything's made from the quantum level up. So potentially, if you could control the quantum level, find out how to control that and train that, then you could manifest anything. It is a possibility in theory. Like when they did the double slit experiment, and when they view it, changes how it behaves. When they don't view it, it behaves predictably. And so there is an interaction there between our ability to focus on things and critically think about them, and our energy and how it changes them. And we can get a bit deeper. Dr. Emoto did work freezing water. You can look him up, and he would say things to the water. Didn't matter what language it was in, because it's not the words, right? It's the energy, it's your belief in the words, what the words mean. So that comes with a vibration. And he would freeze it when you said nice things, and it would be a beautiful shape. When you say bad things, it would be a bad shape. When he introduced EMF to it, Wi-Fi, telephones, it would be a mutated sort of shape. When beautiful music, Mozart, classical, it would be a pretty shape. So it's the vibration that's coming with it, it's the intent. So the words only mean as much as you understand them to mean. You can feel the vibration, and the vibration will have an effect on you. But again, as a conscious being, you can dictate what effect that has on you. If someone says bad things to you, for example, it's really down to you. We are responsible for how we feel. And when you realize that you're the one actually responsible for how you feel in your life, then you should realize that you can actually take control then. And if you follow this system, and I'll repeat it to you once again now, conscious mind, unconscious mind. Thought passes to the unconscious mind. Unconscious mind speaks to the body. The body gets the body to release things in line with the thought. So proteins, hormones, chemicals, they give you a feeling. That dictates your personality at that time. That will dictate your personal reality. You will then have an experience with the world and the universe because of your personal reality, which will give you a thought because of the thing that happened to you back at the beginning again. So you get that right, and you're going to experience a whole different life and a whole different feeling. I've got 2 minutes left. It's just been a bit of a general talk today, and I want to go deeper into some things. I'd like you to ask me some questions, what you'd like me to focus on for you, or answer any questions specifically. But this method, I'm not joking when I say this, and I'm not overestimating it. It can fix pretty much anything. And the way you think has been scientifically proven to make you sick. If it's negative, it can make you ill. Stress makes you sick, yeah? You think of something bad happening, your blood pressure goes up. There's physical changes. You think something sexual, you get sexually aroused in your body. There's physical changes. You think of something scary, and you can monitor these things in the body. You have learn a new thing, learn a new skill, and your brain is making neural connections so fast. It's unbelievable. The more you think about that thing, that's why this is dangerous, this unconscious habit. The more you think about it, the stronger the neural network, and it gets fatter, the axons get fatter, and then it fires down. The fatter it is, the less resistance, so the quicker it can fire down there. It's basically electricity. If you know anything about electrics, if we want to move more energy quicker, down a longer length, then you have to get a larger diameter copper cable. Resistance comes with smaller cables, and you need to reduce what you're putting down there. So we want to make a strong connection that can carry powerful information. So we want you 24/7 positive. 24/7, you've got to be monitoring it. And you might forget, you might fall off, and you might just all of a sudden catch yourself where the unconscious mind's kicked back in, the unconscious program, and it's running the program, and you're thinking bad thoughts about somebody. You see somebody and you think something, or you dislike this person, or you start thinking about some shit in the past or some shit in the future that might happen, and making up scenarios and how you might defend yourself, whatever the hell's going on, what you might say. And then you need to just, like I said, don't force it out. Just gently ignore it. Don't give it any energy, and overlay it with a positive thought. Pull one up. I want you to do this. As soon as something nice happens in your life, realize it. Start being present and go, I'm going to remember that, and I'm going to pull that back and use it as a positive thought. My daughter and I, we made a Santa on the beach. We did some art out of pebbles, and when we were doing it, I was like, I'm going to pull back on this, and I'm going to use it as one of my positive thoughts. My children and I went out today skating. It was so funny. We were all over the place, falling over. It was beautiful. We had fun together. Positive thought. Bring it up. Reinforce it. Talk about the positive things. We spend so much time talking about negative things and reliving all the negative stuff. And you'll know if you're in business, someone has a bad experience, so tell 10 people. Someone has a good experience, so tell nobody. It's the wrong way round. It's the wrong way round. We need to flip that, and then your life is going to change. But it's going to be done in here. And I've done it. And you can do it. All of you can do it. Now, I'm going to go now, and I'll do another podcast soon. Remember, finleysmindmechanics@gmail.com. Please reach out to me. Really want to help. I promise I'm coming from a place of pure honesty and truth to you, and compassion. I don't want anything from you. All the best. Lots of love.